Hello world. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the I Have No Idea What I'm Doing podcast. My name is Eric, as all y'all know. If not, you gonna know. But yeah, hope everybody's doing well, as always. Somebody gotta tell you, I hope you're doing well. A lot of people don't get that. Yeah, man. Been a little while since I did one. A lot of y'all been on my ass. People have been on my ass about this shit. So, told you I don't know. I just don't do them for. It wasn't really shit I felt like talking about. I guess I don't like doing that. I mean, if you listen to these long enough, I don't really I try to stay away from like the trendy shit. I tried it. It didn't work. This is what me. So sometimes I just come out my little cave and get something. But I know I do appreciate the people that do actually do that though, and the people that give me feedback. Even if it's just something that you related to, something you fucked with that I said that, you probably going through the same shit or something similar, you looking for a sign, whatever have you. So I do appreciate all that feedback. I did make one for y'all that do be on my ass about being on video because I just don't do the camera shit. But I guess I'll grace y'all with my face one of these days. So, what is that, narcissistic? Is that the word? I don't know. But anyway, or arrogance, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I did make a podcast. Shout out to Guap Boy Trade. We're going to try to drop that soon. I just haven't dropped the audio because I want to drop the video with the audio. So I'm going to drop that soon. Did a little pull-up. Talked about his album Risk. So if anybody that is interested in listening to music, new music from artists that you weren't familiar with, go ahead and check that out. My boy Curtis on there. His dog Low Son on there. I think it was Bingo Bangs. I hope I ain't fuck his name up either. Yeah, man. Go check that out. I'm gonna be dropping that soon. Other than that, man, let me get to it. So it's been a while. Over this course of my hiatus or whatever, I turned 29. A lot of fucking people were like, oh, you 30. No, I'm 29. 29. Let me enjoy this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get closer to like 30, it's like they want to throw that 30 label on you. I was fucked up about it though. I ain't gonna front. I was fucked up about it for a little bit. I feel like I said this before, but if not, whatever. I feel like when the closer I was getting to 30, I'm like, oh shit. Like you start looking at your life about the shit like you didn't do or did do. Like you just start looking. I was told a while ago, like, bro, like you look at life differently when you start to get closer to 30 as a man. And I truly believe that. I'm a man, so I'm gonna just speak from my perspective. I'm not trying to sound like that to the women that listen to this. I'm not being like that. But what I'm saying is, like, when you get to a certain point as a man, like, you start shit that you just don't, like, there's really shit that I just do not give a fuck about. And I know I said this before, but it's like, it really cemented home. Like, I don't know, it's like a shift. Cause 28 was a fucking man, dog. 20. If you know, you know. Like, I just put it that way. If you know, you know. Like 28 was a fucking doozy, dog. Like 28 was one of the wildest years of my life. But what I'm learning is like you can look at shit like that and you're like, oh man, like I'm fucked, or you know what I'm saying, shit hitting the fan. You know what I'm saying? You look around, you fucked, or everything's going good. Like I have like a complex of like when shit's going good, I'm always waiting for like, nah, it's always some fucked up shit on the back end. And like anything, like it's always some fucked up shit on the back end. That's just the way my brain works. And what I'm realizing is like really it truly is like the older you get, the wiser you get. So your experience teaches you a lot of shit, and then it may not register at the moment, but man, when that shit registers, dog, like holy shit, bro. Like it's crazy as fuck to see like when it really registers and it really hits. Like it'll fuck you up a little bit. I've been trying to do new shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been trying to do new shit. So like I really was like a weed smoker like for the last couple years. Like I was really like high like a lot. Like and I'm cool with smoking, but like it's just like I always told myself if I ever get to the point where I'm like I used to see niggas and they be like, man, bro, I gotta get high. And I'm like, why do you feel like that? Like high school I didn't smoke weed. So I was like the kid that just I was around them niggas. I just never decided to like get into that. I think I smoked weed like twice in high school. So it wasn't really like I'm looking like, why do you feel like you need to get high? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people that smoke cigarettes and they'll be like, they'll get into a mode and be like, fuck, I need a cigarette. And I'm like, why? Why do you need that? So once I got to that point, I was like, yeah, I started slowing down and I got off of it. So I do it on my stages, allegedly, because I have allegedly I do it in stages. But really though, like I started doing like I got into some meditation shit, and that shit really works. Like I'll be real, that shit really works. I really wish I had that like a long time ago. But that shit really works, man. I've been trying to do it for like the last month and a half, 2 months, and it really helped my thought process and a lot of shit. But even more so, I feel a lot more awake these days at 29. I feel a lot more awake. And it's like it's low key kind of wild when you see the shit, bro. Like you'll look at life and it's like when you see some things on the outside looking in, and you finally like see things, it's mind blowing. But these days I'm not even surprised because the things like I was starting to speak on earlier, like you go through shit you're supposed to go through, no matter what. It could be it could be some fucking bullshit, and you know it's bullshit, and it could be a decision that you made that you should have went right. You should have went home. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been one of them type of things where you should just went home. But it could be anything, and so you realize a lot of that. You might be going through something that's gonna open your eyes to something else, and once your eyes are open, or once you open to that shit, it's mind blowing. I'll say this though, I know looking back, I've been going from, I don't even really spoke on this, but like I've been going from Rockford for 2 years. I'm proud of where I'm from. I tell people where I'm from. You know, you ask where I'm from, I say Rockford. Same time though, like as much pride as I have being a kid from Midtown, East Side, Rockford, Illinois, the best decision I ever made was getting the fuck out of my hometown. I seen a Will Smith quote on it, and I had a conversation about this not too long ago, but it was like a Will Smith quote, and he was like, the best thing you could ever do is get out your hometown. And because I got out, I wish I would have got out earlier, but you go through what you're supposed to go through. And so I really, really wish I would have got out. And so, as I began to realize that it was like a dam busted in my mind, especially recently. It's like a dam busted. So when you get out your hometown, man, like you see some shit, you see the world differently, because where I'm from, it's a town, it's a city, town, whatever you want to call it, 175,000 people, 175,000 people. So we all kind of in this bubble, and then within this bubble, you can get lost. How I realized it is that, man, this must be what like Hollywood is like, in a sense, where I'm from. Just the way I view it now, and I'm like, wow, like we all. Like, so recently I've been going home. The last couple weeks I went home. I hadn't been home since July. And so last couple weekends I've been home, and every weekend there's been some shit, right? So I finally got out because I never go out when I go home. I never go out. Like I usually just stay home. I stay at my mom's house. I stay home. I don't get out no more. Or I go to a friend's house, but that's about it. And as I got out this weekend, realizing everything happens for a reason. So you gotta like trust what you like. I'm learning like really just like sometimes you just gotta go with shit. And you know, as I got out and I'm amongst people and I'm jumping from place to place, just trying to just I don't know, for whatever reason I needed to. It was something I was supposed to see, I guess. And so as I'm moving around, I'm just in the middle of these places, bro, and it's just like I just felt like an outside for the first time in where I'm from. And it told me a lot about what I'm doing in my life. I said, damn, bro, like I'm looking around and it ain't nothing against nobody, but I'm like, damn, it's like some of these people I seen in here years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like years ago. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't no judgment, no shit or nothing like that. But it's just like, man, like because I got the experience, it's like I want somebody else to feel the same way. Like I would want somebody else to get out. Like I just look and be like, I imagine what would this person do, like to get up out of here, but also like how would they see this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I guess I would like somebody else to have the same experience that I'm having right now, where I'm from, because we all don't get out. Like we all don't get out. It's crazy to say that, but sometimes you really don't get out your hometown. Like something I'm noticing in like New York. A lot of people getting the fuck out of New York, but to someone like me, like as an outsider, like New York City, why the fuck would you want to get out of New York City? But a lot of New Yorkers I know, once they tell you and they explain it to you, you understand like that's where they from, so they see it the way I see Rockford. Like it's just like wherever, you know what I'm saying? So I guess since that experience, it just like this entire like year that I had over this last year, it's starting to make sense. And you got to understand that like it prepares you for the next thing. I know one thing I noticed that being at 29 is like the experience thing, right? So I've been looking at my life. God, I sound like I'm fucking going. Anyway, I'm looking at my shit, right? And I'm going through the same shit I was going through 10 years ago. Like I just told somebody this. I'm like, yo, I'm going through the same exact shit I was going through 10 years ago. And one of my vows to myself was when I hit 30, when I really hit 30, for you fuckers that keep calling me 30, when I really hit 30, I'm going to live my life the way I should have lived my 20s. But then it's like a lot of shit comes in full circle. There's things in my life that are starting to arrange where it's like I've been here before. And honestly, like it ain't nothing being like in a situation where you're like, yo, I've been here before. Cause it's like, I think we all get anxiety from shit that goes on and we ain't never like, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that just happen and you just be like, oh shit. But then once you realize the experience is already there, I guess that's the athlete in me, because it's like the more you play, the more you know what I'm saying? You just start moving. You just start moving. You ain't even thinking, you know? And that's like the best way I can describe what I'm starting to see is like I'm just starting to play the game. Like it ain't even no thinking no more. It's playing. And that's dangerous for somebody that's just been thinking this whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I know one thing I've been doing is at 19, there was things that I should have got rid of or I should have never stepped into that it happened for a reason, but it was decisions I made that I wish I would have made differently. And I wonder what things, as far as where I would be at could have turned out to be. Like I said, I don't live with the regret because the experience of it. And so what it told me is, okay, bro, you about to be 30 years old, 19, you 29 now. You in the same position you were in 10 years ago. And so I told myself, I said, it's time to make decisions that you would have made. And sometimes them decisions be tough. It be the toughest ones, but the toughest decisions you make be the ones that really are the ones that's going to help you grow into the person you're supposed to be. And whether it's people, it's places, it's things, it's the things you put energy into, like all that shit, the energy that you put into people, places, and things, like you need to make sure you put your energy in the right spot. Most importantly, I was just told I need to put the energy that I put in other shit, I need to put into myself. And after this weekend, I really realized, like, you need to put your energy into some other shit. And the other shit is myself. So we all suffer from, everybody does. The people that give, some people just don't give a fuck, and I salute you. But it's in me to coach. I did get to see, shout out to Tamir, he was on here. I got to see him coach this weekend. He's been talking to me about coaching. And he's like, man, you ever gonna come back and coach? And well, Friday I went and seen, I watched my old high school. There's some kids I coached on that team, and then they played against Auburn, so it's Eastern Auburn. And the seniors on both sides, I coached most of them. The ones on Auburn, I coached them since they were in 6th grade, so I know them kids since they were kids. And it was just cool to watch, like just sit back and watch and see what they about to do, you know what I'm saying? And the ones that listen, they listen. And it's apparent that the ones that are listening, even if they wasn't on the field, there's some that they listen. But the next day, I go watch Tamir coach, and it was like a full circle thing, because I'm looking, I'm like, dog, I was coaching this little kid. Like, this dude, this motherfucker was in 7th grade. No disrespect to Tamir. But it was like, this motherfucker was in 7th grade, bro, when I met him. And when I met him, he was smart as shit. And I knew he was going to be a coach. And I knew he was going to be a coach. I remember telling him at our football banquet, like, you're going to be a coach one day. And I'm watching him coach, and I'm like, damn, like, just the passion he had behind it and shit, it kind of started, what's the word? What's the word? I don't even know the word, but it started feeding something, man. So I started finding myself as I'm watching on the sideline, starting to talk to kids and shit. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm starting to get that itch. But I know it's not time to do that right now. So, but the reason I'm saying that is because it's like I had a epiphany yesterday and said, you know what? You do a lot of coaching people in general, and a lot of motherfuckers don't listen to you. And they listen and they hear me, but I'm not trying to say I'm always right, but it's like I feel like I give good advice. And if you don't take my advice, then it's always the circle around like, damn, you was right. I know. Like, I know. I just got a knack for that. I know, bro. But in that same token, I told myself, I said, you putting all that energy and shit like that and helping everybody else, you need to help yourself, nigga. Like, you need to coach yourself. It's time to coach yourself. So that's one of the things I told myself this year. I was like, I'm coaching myself. Like, obviously, I'm going to coach the people around me, the ones that I know I need to coach. But I was like, I'm done doing that. And I'm not going to lose the gift, but I'm not going to, I don't want to say lose the gift, but disown my gift. But at the same time, I'm not going to put my energy into shit that you ain't listening, bro. I don't give a fuck no more. I don't give a fuck no more. And it's not that I don't give a fuck about you, what you doing, but it's just like I don't give a fuck the coach no more. Anyway, and then so like the rest of the weekend, just like there's shit that I seen and people I bumped into, and I just realized like, yo, it's shit you just gotta let go. You can't never move forward in your life if you holding on to shit that just ain't supposed to be there, and you know it ain't supposed to be there. And like I said to the beginning of what I started is like the best thing I ever did was get the fuck out of Rockford, because I never would have saw shit the way I seen it this weekend. And it was, as much as it was, as crazy as it was like relief. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes you feel like you could do more in a lot of situations, and then sometimes it's just like, you know what? it ain't nothing you could have did. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing you could have did. You can't save everybody, and everybody can't go. Like, that's the biggest thing I realize is, like, everybody can't go. And once I began to realize that everybody just can't go, you start shedding shit. You know what I'm saying? You start shedding situations, energy, people. Like, you just start shedding that shit, and it's like a weight gets lifted off of you because it's like it's not your problem no more. And that's like one of the best things I learned leaving is like a lot of shit just ain't your problem no more. You got to be a little selfish in life to get where you want to be, and the people that are successful are hated. So if you want to be successful, you got to understand that it's going to be hate that comes with that. And the hate that comes with that is because somebody hate theyself. They more jealous of what they more jealous because you able to do that. Whether you got the heart to do it, you got the courage to do it, or shit, you just got the talent to do it. Some people can do it and some people can't. Conversation I had was about on that Saturday morning watching them younger kids. It was like we had a conversation about telling kids to pull back because they bigger, faster, and stronger. And this person was like, I wish I would have never said that to my kid. And it was just a lesson for me off the rip. Like, I'm not going to do that with my kid. Hey, if my kid's better than yours at whatever she doing, then I'm sorry, but that's just how it's going to have to be because it might be a kid that's better than her. And that's where I have to be a parent, tell my kid, well, you just got to work harder. You got to get better. It ain't nobody going to give it to you. Some people got natural gifts, but shit, even if I can tell myself you got a natural gift and you sitting on it, you know what I'm saying, you ain't working on it, it's a waste. It's a wasted potential. Wasted potential. I seen somebody say that on a post, wasted potential. That's like that's one of the biggest things you can do in life is just waste your fucking potential because you worried about the wrong shit. And so I just know like the energy that I've been putting out lately is all the energy I put out in my 20s is starting to come back, but in the right way. Like I said, you feel like you feel like you in a fucked up situation, like your money tight, you might have to move, your car might be fucked up, you don't know how to pay for this or that, or, your job ain't going right, you know what I'm saying, or you stuck at a job that you really don't want to be at. It's all a reason, but at the same time, it's like you gotta step back and look for a different reason, and what's your reason for doing it. If you just doing something to get by day to day, then you ain't living, and then it's like eventually it just starts to take over you. But you can be doing something day to day and still be looking and searching for something else, and eventually you're gonna find what you're looking for. And it depends on what you're doing it for. If you're doing it for money, you chasing the money, that's cool. But really just like money, you know what I'm saying? Money can only do so much for you. You chasing a reason, like you chasing a success. You doing it for your kids. You doing it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just what's your motivation? I said this shit on here before, but it was a quote about motivation, and it was like, don't let somebody else motivate you because it's just like a flame, but it's gonna go away because once you prove that person wrong, you know what I'm saying? You prove your point. It's like, where's the motivation at? So you got to find the motivation within you to do whatever it is you trying to do, and what's your reasoning behind it. Everybody can't see what you see. So you might be doing some shit and people be like, oh man, that shit, this, that, and the third, or whatever. But at the same time, it's like you have your own reasoning for doing. Nobody can see your own vision. They can't see what's in your mind, even if you can't explain that shit. So I would just say, man, like that's like the biggest shit I learned at going into 20, like coming in 29. It's been a month since I've been 29, and it's like I feel like it's just crazy. Like, like I said about the decision making, it's like the decision making I'm making is a lot better. it's like when you come up to a crossroads, like I was in a fork in the road. So me being me, I'm like Googling fork in the road. I'm like, what is, like, that was the only thing that came to my mind. I was like, dog, I'm in a fork in the road, bro. Like, I'm in a fork in the road. So I look, and I go ahead and look, and it was a story about it. And so basically this dude had like, it was like this dude was walking, whatever, he had a fork in the road. So he built, he didn't know where to go. He didn't know go to left or he didn't know go right. So it was like a tree or some shit was sitting there, and the tree was like, yo, and I'm making this sound wild as hell. This is not how I read it. This is how I interpret it. He was like, yo, he said, he was like, yo, I'm lost. Basically, he's talking out loud like, yo, I'm lost. And the tree was like, all roads lead home. So dude was like, dude thought he was bugging out. So like, if you read it in some weird funny way to find some humor in it, I'm like, this nigga was on LSD or some shit. Like, this nigga was bugging the fuck out. So I'm like, yo. So he's like, so after he says all roads lead home, he's like not believing the tree. He's like, whatever, this is full of shit. Like, I'm not finna sit up here and believe this shit. So he builds out of like clay. So you know this is like some folktale shit. So he builds out of clay like a horse or some shit like that. And basically like he made the clay horse go one way, he was gonna go another way, and they was gonna meet back up. And basically the way he took basically led him into the life that he was supposed to have anyway. Like you know what I'm saying, dude pulled a shorty at a bar type shit. Or he went to some restaurant, pulled a shorty, then they ended up, you know what I'm saying, moving around. So then it was like, long story less long, he forgot all about he forgot about the little horse. So then he took a hike with his family, and this nigga came up and he found the horse that he sent to walk away. Because he was like on top of this mountain and shit. You gotta look it up. It's the fork in the road story. Anybody that's really like interested in what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But basically it's like whatever decision you make, it's always gonna come back. You're gonna make the decision you're supposed to make. So we think too hard on the decisions that we gotta make sometimes, and sometimes the decision is already just made. You just gotta do what you feel is right. So yeah, at this point, I feel like that's where I'm at right now at 29. And I'm gonna keep saying 29. Fuckers. But I just know when I hit 30, it's just like, you know, it's like 30, that 30 is the new 20 shit. I used to laugh at that because I'm like, man, I used to be like 15, 16, like, man, what nigga at 30 is like, yo, 30 is the new 20. But it really is, because you get because you see so much, you see the world so different because your 20s teach you so much. So once you hit 30, you hit that point, it's like kind of like a reset button. And so now what are you going to do for the next 10 years? Like the kids I coach, I used to always tell them like, yo, in 6th grade, I would tell them niggas like, yo, these 3 years are going to define your next 4 years. So these 3 years is going to be your foundation for what you're going to take into high school. And every kid that I was coaching, I knew exactly where they would be and how they would be because of certain things that they was doing in middle school. As fucked up as it sounds. And I tried so hard to prevent it, but you know, you can only do so much. And I would tell them once you get to high school, them 4 years probably going to define your next 4 to 8, really probably your next 4. And after that, it's pretty much the rest of the rest of your 20s is going to be defined by that in a sense. But what I learned now is like in the middle of a game, you can improvise. That's something I learned from coaching. Like you can improvise. And sometimes when you got to improvise, it ain't gonna work out for everybody else, but you gotta make what's working for you. You gotta run your own fucking game plan. And you can, it's always room for improvising, always room to call a different play. And it's like at this point, I'm telling myself like, dog, you gotta start calling different plays. Like this shit ain't working. You can't keep doing the same shit, same people, same things, same energy. You can't keep giving that to that. So it's like the things that don't do anything for me at this point in my life, not that I don't give a fuck personally. When I say I don't give a fuck, obviously I care. I'm just that type of person, but I don't give a fuck. And that's what I'm adopting going forward is I just don't give a fuck. So, on the trendy shit, because I keep getting asked about this. I guess I have a music opinion. I appreciate that, those that actually respect my music opinion. Also what's been coming out is I just want to let y'all niggas know Kanye spent 15 plus years trying to tell y'all niggas he was never gonna let light-skinned niggas come back in style, right? We all knew that was a lie, because I'm alive. I'm just talking shit. But anyway, he was never gonna let light-skinned niggas come back in style. And here he is, and him and this nigga Drake. And it's just funny as hell to me that this nigga main rival is a light-skinned nigga. To me, that's hilarious. I might be the only one in the room that finds that fucking hilarious, but it's fucking hilarious. I think one thing we do with music on some real shit is we don't let music breathe. I've had multiple conversations, so this is just all of the conversations I've had, and I've come to the conclusion, like, we really don't let nothing breathe. Like, yeah, I had a conversation about whether you know or not, just based off of a first listen. I'm trying to stop discussing music before I hear it, because sometimes it fucks you up. Like, it fucks you up because it's like you already anticipating. I seen this somewhere else, and I agree with this statement. It's basically like it was another podcast I was watching, and he was basically like, I turn my notifications off because I didn't want nobody sending me no songs and nothing like that. So that's something I'm starting to do. I've been doing that because it's like I don't want to know, like, nothing. I want to figure it out on my own. And I feel like both of these albums, CLB, Certified Lover Boy, and Donda, I feel like we all had a certain expectation for them, from the people I had conversations with, the people whose music brands I respect and trust. I feel like we all came in with a certain expectation. Donda because of the name, and Certified Lover Boy because it's Drake. It's Drake versus Drake. Like, his standard is Drake versus Drake. I like his line where he said, "You niggas sliding the third like you still in third or something. You guys are third like you sliding in the," I don't know, whatever he said to Kanye ass. But anyway, I like that line because he feel like it's just him and Hov in the room. And I fucked with that. I'm like, you know what? He should feel like that, though. I think we all wanted the Kendrick, Drake shit. I think that passed. I think Drake don't even give a fuck at this point. He only see Jay, and that's fine. You know, 10 years ago they was on that light up. Jay told that nigga. I guess that's the thing about being full circle. So, like, I felt like if this shit, honestly, it seemed like some WWE shit, because it's just like, it's just drama. If it's not, then Kanye is just that great at manipulating the media, which I think he is. I think he's figured out how to do that. That dude is just like, he's a master marketer. If there's one thing about Kanye West, he's a master fucking marketer. And I think with Drake, he learned his lesson from Light Up. So I listened to that song right before my birthday. I know I listened to it for my birthday, because if you have me on Snapchat, I probably posted it. But Jay verse always resonated with me, because I always felt like, maybe because I'm just that big of a Jay-Z fan, I always felt like he was talking to someone like me. I just always felt like it was talking to me. That's why I listen to him. His music always feels like he's just talking to you. Like, it's a conversation. And that's probably one of my favorite verses. Somebody has said that too on Facebook about being his best. I don't know if it's his best, but I can see why it'd be somebody's favorite. But the shit he was telling Drake is kind of the same shit I'm telling myself in my life right now. Like, you know, the just that whole verse. If you ever get a chance, listen to that whole verse. And this is like shit that he was telling Drake. He told Drake was gonna happen, and that nigga decided, no, I'm gonna go the other way. And then he went the other way, got his head taken off by someone he shouldn't have been in the arena with, because whatever reason. And it wasn't that he can't compete in that arena. I just think that when he was dealing with somebody that ain't had shit to lose, and you got everything to lose, and he got baited into that. And I felt like Kendrick tried to do it too. I feel like Kanye did too. But I feel like both of them tried to bait him into some shit. And this time Drake didn't fall for it. He put on the album. That 7 a.m. and Bridal Path is exactly what the fuck I like hearing from Drake. I didn't really mean to do a music review, but anyway, that's the type of songs like when niggas be like, oh man, Drake, niggas write for Drake, yada yada. They give me that. I'm like, bro, there's nobody can write that type of shit for you. Those are like personal thoughts and feelings. You can spill that to anybody however you want, but I don't. It's just too personal. It's just too personal when it's a feeling. You can tell the songs where Drake probably got some help on or whatever, but those are the ones that are like, you can just tell. Like, I always knew 10 Bands was never his. I always knew it. So I don't even care about that shit because I just feel like him and Ye are like in the same area as far as they just artists. I put Drake in the artist category. As far as rapping, I think he would put himself there. He don't care about that. Nobody ever gave him that respect. Niggas wanted nothing was the same, and then when he gave it to us, they didn't respect. He didn't get the respect he thought he got, so he should have got. So he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go the pop route." I think a lot of that was a fuck you to Kanye. But Donda, I had the same complaint with Certified Lover Boy. I don't like albums that are that long. I like albums that are like between 10 to 14, maybe 13 songs. Cut the fat. It gives a lot less room for error and filler songs that just ain't supposed to be there. I understood the duality of Donda. Like, Donda is really some Gemini shit. As much as Gemini shit is a heaven and hell thing. And it flips around the middle. I forgot the song, but I think it is a song called Heaven and Hell. So it flips. But anyway, I didn't really mean to go into a deep dive into that, but like, it's like we don't let shit breathe. We're such in an era of like, as soon as we hear something, we got to give an opinion. And I haven't really said anything about it because I'm still listening to him, and I'm like, it's two totally different albums for one. Kanye is some stadium music shit. Kanye been doing this shit since Graduation, and I listened to Graduation recently because it was the anniversary. It was the 14-year anniversary of Graduation. Shout out to that album because Good Morning is still my morning ringtone. So that's one of my favorite albums ever, and it's a nostalgic album for me. And so I remember when he made that, he was aiming for stadium music. So when I listened to this album in the car, because I didn't do it in the AirPods, I listened in the car, and I'm like, this is stadium music. He made this for concerts and shit, which made complete sense why he did everything the way he did. That's why he had 3 fucking concerts before he released it, because he was getting the sound together. And how does this sound in a concert? It's like, we don't know what the fuck some of these people are doing, but some of the creative genius, you just gotta get the fuck out the way. Dude like Kanye, you just gotta step back and get the fuck out the way, because you really don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, dude, you don't know what the fuck he's doing. So when I heard it like that, that's what changed my perspective. I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy it that way. I'm not going to enjoy it for... I'm not looking for lyricism and shit like that. I'm not looking for that. This is just something that just sounds great. It does, though. Like, the sound, I knew it was going to sound... To me, it sounds great. To some, it doesn't. But to me, like, the sound, when I heard it on the speakers and I had it up and I was hearing like the everything in it, I'm like, oh, he was cooking. I'm never gonna doubt it. The only album I did not fuck with for real on the production tip, man, was what was that bullshit ass album? Yay. That was the only one I didn't fuck with. I didn't listen to Jesus is Lord, but that Yay shit was the only one because I knew it was bullshit because it was too rushed. I'm like, Kanye don't ever rush shit, and I know how detailed and how particular this dude is. Just being a music fan and watching this dude, I'm like, him putting that type of shit out is bullshit. I'm not supporting it. So I listened to it. It was some songs I had liked that first, but then I just deleted off my shit. I don't even have nothing on that album because I didn't fuck with it. But the sound of this shit was great. So it was like stadium music. And then Drake, it was Drake. It was Drake. Everything on the album pretty much I wasn't surprised about because I was like, this is what he's gonna give us. My man's he had the best take about this shit to me as far as the Kanye album. He said it was basically a DJ Khaled album with better production. I thought the shit was fucking hilarious, but that was like that take right there told me everything, and I hadn't listened to it yet, and we were just talking. He had said that shit, and I was like, oh, okay. And that was one thing that fucking like irritated me. It was like the features, because it's like I don't pop in the album to hear like 20 different people on your album. And so, and that was on both albums. I just feel like it was a lot of features, and it was like, it's cool, but it was, and then they had the same features. That's why I thought it was some WWE shit, because I'm like, why y'all got the same features? So somebody knew something and was trying to one up somebody. So I don't know. I'm just at the point now, like, I'm just trying to enjoy the music. I'm trying to enjoy it and take things in. I can't give an opinion on something I heard one time. Like, I mean, you really can. I agree with that. Like, it's kind of double-sided, because you can't give an opinion, because you can put something in, like that Ye shit. I put that Ye shit in, and it was trash off the first rip. I tried it again because it's Kanye. I gave it out 3 more listens because it was only 7 fucking songs. And I'm like, dog, I'm not doing this shit. If it was a CD, I would have frisbeed it. No disrespect to Ye, but just the standard I hold Kanye West to, that wasn't it, bro. But I'm just trying to enjoy things and let things simmer. So, like, I'm going to go back to both of these albums. I've been listening to both of them back and forth, especially the last couple of days. I finally listened to Donda. I gave it like a week to let it cool down. Certified Lover Boy, I'm more of an easy listen person, so it was an easy listen. Because I knew what it was. Donda, I knew I had to really, like, just because it's Kanye, I knew, I'm like, I gotta actually, like, sit with this bitch. So I want to check out that Baby Keem album. Everybody talking about that shit is tough too. But yeah, just that lesson that I seen Drake take with him, it just resonated with me, because I said, he finally listened to that nigga. After all these fucking years, that nigga told you this shit at the beginning of your career. So I guess I guess a lot of shit that I've seen, I kind of told myself, like, damn, nigga, you knew this shit was coming. And you know, you can be mad at it, but only be mad because you didn't follow your own instinct. And if you follow your own instinct and trust yourself, you can't never be mad at the result of whatever you're trying to do in your life. So yeah, man, that's all I got. This might have been long-winded, but I know, like I said, people have been asking. I always say this shit, like, I feel bad, and then I won't make a podcast for like a month, and then it's like, oh, so you ain't making shit, and it's like, nah, sometimes I just gotta be inspired, man. Sometimes you just really gotta be inspired, especially when I don't like talking to the day. I don't talk about the weekly events and shit like that, or give my opinion on it, because some shit I just don't give a fuck to give an opinion about. Anybody that knows me for real, they know I'm the definition of don't give a fuck, because I really don't give a fuck. If it ain't got nothing to do with me and mine, I'm not gonna engage in it. I might try to step out and give more opinions on things. Maybe my opinion holds some type of weight to some people, so whatever. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for checking me out. I appreciate everybody that always stays on my ass to make these and support it. And it lets me know I'm doing something right. Sometimes you do kind of need that, but I gotta stay on my own shit. So I gotta coach myself, right? So again, man, I appreciate y'all for listening. Until next time.